Stepping in the lab, this a brainwave shift. Turn pain into game, every loss uplift. City on my back, but my posture rich. Used to dream in the dark, now the switch they lit. Neurons fire when I say my name. Rewire all the wires, I don't play that same. Old code in my head, had to break that chain. Now the pathway paved with the winds I claim. Yeah, power, money, respect, I evolve with it. New pathways in my head, watch me solve with it. Change, transform, I was built to collect. More life, more growth, that's the real asset. Yeah, power, money, respect, put it all on deck. New pathways when I move, every thought direct. Change, transform, I was born to connect. More life, more growth, that's the real asset. Pocket full of plans, I don't chase loose change. Every dollar just data, I expand my range. Stack base, stack skills, then the paper grows. I invest in the mind, that's how favor flows. Had to silence every doubt, that's a loud old voice. Now I edit my beliefs like a ground up choice. Turn fear into fuel, turn stress into steps. Every setback, sketching out the stairs I rep. Yeah, I pivot when the path look blocked off. If the road ain't there, then I blast off. From the gutter in my thoughts to a glass loft. Had the bed on my brain, that's a jackpot. Yeah, yeah. Power, money, respect, I evolve with it. New pathways in my head, watch me solve with it. Change, transform, I was built to collect. More life, more growth, that's the real asset. Yeah. Power, money, respect, put it all on deck. New pathways when I move, every thought direct. Change, transform, I was born to connect. More life, more growth, that's the real asset. Oh, more growth, that's the real asset. Yeah, more growth, that's the real asset. New brain, new brain. New bag, same name. New bag. Used to count out in my bedroom. Now I count wins in the boardroom. Rewired, I don't think how I used to. Turn a hard day into high proof. Mindset doing heavy lifting, that's a gym too. Every little habit like a sine wave I've been through. Read a couple studies, now I study how I spend too. Power in my focus, money just a friend too.
What's going on? What's going on? Go ahead and snap it up and clap it up for yourself. Today is a good day for a great day. You are blessed. You are abundant. You are above ground. So any day that you have, let's make it a good day. Let's make it a great day. The choice is yours. You are the MVP. Go ahead and put MVP in the chat if you know you are the most valuable participant in your life. Welcome to the Mindset Mondays. My name is Sean Crumay. I'm the one that helps you with your systems to become more effective in less time. So that way you can get paid to be you. You become your most authentic, most attractive character and get paid just because of who you are. There's nothing better than that. Okay. And the way that you do that is by optimizing your internal and external systems. Internal systems could be anything such as routines, the mindset, perspectives. External systems could be marketing, teams, networking, communities, and you name it. Systems is something that save you significant time, energy, and money. If you in your life right now are being drained significant time, energy, or money, then your systems might not be working. So if your systems are working currently, go ahead and put my systems are working so we can know. Just put the green light in the chat, or you can put my systems are not working and you can put the yellow light or the red light in the chat. All right. So today I'm just going to break down some of the things that I've rediscovered. And one of the things that I rediscovered was creating that routine of clarity, mirror work, perspective, and execution. This is all for clarity and direction. If you are confused, there isn't any movement. A confused mind is a mind that does not move. So if you feel like you're stuck, maybe you are hesitant somewhere, maybe you have a blind spot that's holding you back. A lot of times it's spiritual connections, it's avoidance behaviors, it's things that you are neglecting. And unfortunately, they pile up and then they run its course, take its toll. So, one of the things that I had to discover today again was how powerful the clarity challenge is. So, I had boxes sitting on the desk, sitting on a table. I had pants on the bed. I had some things going haywire. It wasn't too crazy, but for my liking, it just wasn't up to par. And I realized that being that it wasn't up to par, it wasn't helping me think straight. I was avoiding certain things, and I realized again, as a discovery, what I was avoiding. Not only was I avoiding making sure things were being put back in this rightful place, but I was also avoiding other things like going out there and connecting on a higher level, being with family, or going out there, connecting on a higher level, making sales or helping someone in the community. I was more standoffish to myself, and I could see why, because I got into a cycle of neglect, a cycle of avoidance. Be cautious of your cycle of avoidance, because the cycle of avoidance will be something that happens subconsciously, but also you'll be on autopilot. So you may not be aware of it right away, but this is how most of us snap out of it. Most of us snap out of it once we realize, okay, we have a lot of stuff, a lot of mess going on. Okay. So with that being said, with that being said, I want to share my screen. If you want to gain some clarity in the mission that you have, the goal that you have, the task that you set forth, just why am I not moving, or why do I feel stuck? If you would love to gain some clarity in this aspect, the first thing I would love for you to do is do the mirror challenge. Okay. Do the mirror challenge. The mirror challenge is simple. The mirror challenge is simple. It's just like standing in the mirror, looking at yourself, and communicating what it is that you want from yourself, from your life. See, the key thing is that we do that with other people. So it's easy for us to be able to tell other people what to do. We have no problem with that. We could do that. Hey, can you do X, Y, and Z? Yeah, we have no problem with doing what other people want us to do either. But we do tend to have a problem where we don't follow our own words of advice. We do tend to have a problem where we may say we're going to do something and then do not do it for ourselves. But if we were in a situation to do it for someone else, we jump, run, skip, hop, fly, find a way, create anything, pull anything out of thin air just to make it happen. We need to be doing the same thing for ourselves. But why is that? Well, because when you're talking to someone, you're connecting on a deeper level. The connection between you and the person that you're talking to, talking with, you're connected on a deeper level. People say that the eyes are the windows to the soul. Now, if you are staring at someone and they're staring back at you, you're having a conversation, you're being pulled in to this story. You're being pulled in to this story amongst each other, right? So now you're integrating stories. You are the star of your story, but you're also co-starring in their story. Make sense? So you're being pulled into a story. You're being integrated into someone else's story. So you feel important. So you go out and get things done. But being that you don't necessarily see yourself more than you don't see yourself, then you kind of lose a little bit of that connection, that little bit of that pull into the soul, that little bit of that pull into the integration. And I know you might say, but I'm doing all the things I need to be doing, but I want you to think about it. There's a reason why you get up and you're more motivated by someone else being around you sometimes. There's a reason why you could be in this particular situation where you might go above and beyond for someone else, but you might neglect yourself. Okay. So first thing I want you to do is do the mirror challenge. On Love Plus, we have this mirror challenge 5 days, 9 steps. But what you could do in this mirror challenge is you can do 1 day of it. You can do 1 day of it. Each day you can do it, but you can do 1 day of it if you like. And just look in the mirror and just look at yourself and talk to yourself. It might seem weird at first. It might seem awkward at first, but the mirror challenge is something that's so helpful to your soul. Okay. See, it all starts with you. You are the ultimate driving force in your life. Get to know, love, forgive, and trust yourself with the mirror challenge. This challenge is designed to be a bit uncomfortable, but you have to move past the discomfort into the world of discovery. Allow yourself to be vulnerable with yourself during this challenge and watch how much more confident, appreciative, grateful, and excited you'll be with yourself during this journey of life. Inside of this challenge, you'll discover self-love like never before and overcome obstacles by committing to accomplishing your goals. After all, how could you expect others to love you if you can't love you? That's powerful. I want you to take a look into the mirror and discover the power that you have to heal, the power that you have to will, the power that you have to showcase who you truly are. And you are somebody amazing, someone brilliant, someone super special. There's a you inside of you that you probably haven't met yet, and now is the time to let that person shine. Okay, so you're going to take the mirror challenge, going to join the mirror challenge for free. Go over to loveplus.com. If you need the link in the chat, go ahead and comment on the video. I would go ahead and put this link inside the description. Okay. Now, the mirror challenge is going to be super paramount. Okay. The mirror challenge is going to allow you to be able to look yourself in the face, come face to face with who you are and what haven't you been doing. What kind of avoidance behavior have you been engaged in? See, even after you do the mirror challenge, you can do mini challenges and you always do it each week. Start on a Monday, start on a Sunday, or start on a Monday. I love to start on a Monday. Stand in that mirror after you get dressed. You can stand in the mirror before you get dressed, but I'd rather you get dressed first, stand in that mirror. Who are you? Are you showing up the way you should be showing up for you for the results that you would like? Or are you showing up small? The choice is yours. You could play tall or you could play small. Now, you do need systems in place. So one of the external systems that would allow you to get a new internal system is that mirror challenge. So take that mirror challenge so that way you can step into a new level. But just by you connecting, what happens in your mind, you create new neural pathways, and these neural pathways fire off at an alarming rate. So much so that this will wake you up from your slumber. If you have been stuck, you will no longer be stuck. Fear will no longer be a factor. If you're standing in the mirror, you get comfortable with who you are, see who you are, know that yes, you may not be the perfect person, but guess what? You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be a person. All you have to do is make progress. So if each day we are standing in there, evaluating ourselves, making sure we're uniformed. The thing about uniformity is if you are about wealth, you want wealth, but you're afraid to take risks, you're not uniform, because anyone who has ever stepped into wealth on the merit of selling or working, then you had to take risks. If you was inheritance child, then hey, you didn't have to take that many risks, right? Somebody probably did the work for you. However, if that's not the case, then you need to do the work. Taking risks is part of the journey. If you want the big reward, you must take a risk. So we want you to be comfortable with knowing that, taking a risk. So you have to be uniformed in your approach. So when you're in the mirror, you need to be uniformed in your approach. Okay, am I speaking like somebody that's about wealth? Do I look like somebody who's about wealth? And wealth is not designer clothes. Wealth is not designer bags and nothing like that. Wealth is clean, presentable. Are you clean and presentable? Are you groomed? Are you taking care of yourself? Health is wealth, right? So taking care of yourself. What type of avoidance behavior are you engaged in? Are you running away from the gym? Are you overeating? Are you putting tasks off for later? Find out where you are avoiding. Find your avoidance behavior. And once you find your avoidance behavior, let's flip the switch. Let's fire off new neural pathways. So now we can operate differently. How are you innovating how you're operating? First thing you need to do is change your belief. Change your beliefs about who you are and what you are out to accomplish. Once you change your beliefs, now you're able to get into the action of operating, applying. And then once you're applying, you can collaborate with other people, places, and things that would allow you to get the most out of whatever it is that you're experiencing. So that way you become more effective in less time, step into that most attractive character, and get paid to be you. Get paid to be yourself. So when you think about the mirror challenge, after you do the mirror challenge, or you can do this simultaneously. I like doing it. I like doing it at the same time, actually. I like doing it at the same time. So let's share the screen. Let's share the screen. So while you're doing the mirror challenge, you could also combine the clarity challenge. You could stand in the mirror and you could assess your avoidance behaviors. But if you're looking in the mirror and your mirror is long enough for you to be able to look around, for you to be able to see yourself full body, and then you can look from your left to your right and see where have you been in avoidance. Let's say your mirror is located by your kitchen. Are there dishes inside the sink? Or have you been avoiding the dishes? Have you been avoiding cleaning the countertops, avoiding putting certain food away? So I want you to think about that. If you can see your bathroom, if you're looking in the mirror in the bathroom, are you organizing your toiletries? Or are you all in disarray? Do you need to go and change out your towel? So I want you to think about these things. If you're able to see it, do you need to mop? Do you need to vacuum? And you're able to talk to yourself at the same time, it's way more powerful because you're doing it in real time. We always want to do everything that we can do in real time. There's not everything that you can do all the time in real time. Sometimes you're gonna have to take practice time and do things at that allotted time. But if you would love to go to that next level, you have to practice in the game. You have to be in the game. Game time shots, we call it in basketball. Remember, business is like sports. So when you're in front of the mirror and you're looking at the mirror and you're saying to yourself, okay, how do I actually become a little bit more effective in less time? You need to look at what you are allowing to linger around. What type of avoidance behavior are you currently engaged in right now? Okay. The clarity challenge is important. This right here, I can't overstate this and I can't understate it. You just have to get the emphasis on it and understand this, that the clarity challenge is a vital piece to your success. If you are cluttered, I'm quite sure you're not going to have the amount of success that you will want to have because your mind can't think clearly because you're cluttered. So you're avoiding looking at your space. You're avoiding looking at the closet. You're avoiding looking at that room. You're avoiding looking at the desk. You're avoiding it. So when you're picking up the avoidance behavior, it's a behavior. So the way you do one thing is how you almost do everything. So when you have clarity in your space, you have clarity in your mind. When you have clarity in your mind, you have clarity in your life. And we all love clarity. Let me read a little bit about what the clarity challenge is. The clarity challenge is about you getting clear on what you want. You're cleaning out old habits and thoughts to move toward a happier, more effective reward in life. Because on the other side of that cleanliness, on the other side of you having that cleanliness is clarity. When you do not have a clear mind, when you have a confused mind, you don't make any big moves because a confused mind will not move. So each day inside of this challenge, you can choose a space from your clarity list to clean. You'll make a clarity list. You must take a before and after picture of the space and submit it on time each day. And this clarity will help you achieve massive results in your career or your business or your personal life. Because when you have a clear mind, you have a mind at ease and a mind that's sure to please. So believe that the clarity challenge is here to help you. So you're standing in the mirror, you're doing the clarity challenge at the same time, and that is super powerful. But there is another component to all of this. There is another component to all of this. Before I even get to that, I want you to think about it. This notion of you getting clear, you having the mirror challenge, it's all about image and reflection. Whatever you see on the outside is basically the 3D printed reality from the inside. So we want to do more work on ourselves than we are doing more work on other things, because the more you work on you, the more other things work for you and with you. So we need to be focused on our beliefs, our thoughts, our speaking, our patterns of thinking. We need to watch our patterns. We need to also watch the way we operate, our habits, right? Our patterns of operation, our mode of operation. How are you behaving? Are you going to bed late even though you say you should go to bed early? I know for me, I was getting caught in that Sunday rest day. Every time I was resting on a Sunday, I would end up getting so much rest that I would go to bed late on a Sunday, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. And then on Monday, I'm a little bit tired. During the day, I might have to take a nap. And then I'm realizing it's trickling down the entire week. So much so that when Sunday comes, I need to take that rest, right? Because I skipped out on a good amount of sleep. So I need that rest time, and then I'll overdo it. And then now the whole process starts over again. So we want to avoid that. We want to avoid the loop. Somebody put loop in the chat. You want to avoid these loops, because these loops are the way that will make you, or these loops are actually the pool or the whirlpool to your downfall. Okay. Loop, you put it backwards, pool. That's the whirlpool to your downfall. So you want to get out of those loops. What you want to do is put yourself in an intentional routine. Okay, so the intentional routine is you stepping into that alignment of knowing what goes where, what are you supposed to do, when, who, what, how. All of those things matter. So part of that is structure. You must structure your day. A lot of times we say, hey, we don't have enough time in a day. Well, you have to understand that most of us do not operate in a space where we understand the time in the day. So the first part of your day is all about creativity, what you are creating, your planning, your operation, you're getting things together, you're getting dressed, you're taking a shower, you're starting on work. It's all about creation from 4:30 all the way to noon time. Even when it comes to working out, this is why you'll find a lot of people work out early. Well, there's not a lot of people. There's a small amount of people who work out early, but those people get a lot more in a day when they find out they work out early. There's a lot of us who work out after work or whatever, it might be late in the evening. By that time, you're not as sharp as you would be when you first get up. Makes sense? So the first part of the day is all about creativity. This is where you should be working at. You should be doing all of what you need to do as far as creation, creating things at during the early day. At noon to 6 p.m., this is discovery time. So inside of discovery time, it's all about learning. It's all about seeing. It's about being. So who you are being, discovering who you are being in those moments. This is where a lot of life lessons happens. If you pay attention to it, you get a lot of breakthroughs during this time. And then also from 6 to 11 is the recovery time. This is a time where you are resting, the time where you are with family, the time where you are replenishing. Maybe some of you eat around 7. Some of you eat around 6, that time right there, that break time. And then after that, you might want to walk a little bit. You might want to do things that could help you just recover. So if you've been working out, you've been working all day, you want to take time for yourself, give yourself a massage, whatever it may be, take a bath. But during that time is the best time to do it, what we call wind down time. Now, from 11 all the way to 4, 5 o'clock, you're supposed to be asleep anyway. So that's the time we want to make sure we're asleep. That's sleep time. Even though sleep and recovery are sort of similar, but sleep and recovery is not the same. Sleep and recovery is not the same. They're just similar. Okay. Now, sleep, you actually need to be asleep. Recovery, you could be lying there and get rest. by just lying there. But sleep, you need to be knocked out by 11 o'clock. Most of us do not knock out by 11 o'clock. Now, this 4491 challenge is super important for creating structure. So the 491 challenge is inspired by Robin Sharma, and Robin Sharma created the 90-91 rule. So what we're doing here is we're going to help you set your alarm to wake up early enough to spend your first 90 minutes working on the task of your choice. Now, you can work on the single most important thing in your business or your life. It's up to you. So for the next 4 days, you take the first 90 minutes and you work on the single most important opportunity that can move the needle forward in your industry or in your life. Okay. Always remember that just because we talk about business doesn't mean that the business is not applied to your personal. They're one and the same, because businesses is all about relationships. So relationships are businesses, right? Now, the first waking hours are best to focus and make your improvements on your life. Because during the first 90 minutes is where you have the most focus, energy, and willpower. This is something that we call the alpha state. When you first get up, you're in the alpha state. In the alpha state, there's so many things that will feel amazing, but a lot of us, we feel groggy, we feel tired because we haven't had enough recovery time leading into the sleep that allows us to have full power of that alpha state. But that alpha state is crucial. And this challenge will improve your life daily if you use this over and over. So remember the 491 challenge, where you're waking up 4 days in a row, 90 minutes earlier than you normally will wake up, to focus on the single most important thing in your business or in your life. Okay. When you start doing these things weekly, these things should be weekly. When you do all three of those weekly, the mirror challenge, clarity challenge, and the 491 challenge, amazing things happen. Yes, there are some days you can add specific challenges for certain things like money, communication, meditation, health, and wellness. But I just want you to realize that the foundation that will help you continuously will be that mirror challenge, clarity challenge, and the 491 challenge. So I want to share my screen on here, because when it comes to putting all of this together, we have to understand the RIC method. Everyone put RIC in the chat. RIC. Renovate, innovate, collaborate. Your job is to renovate, innovate, collaborate. If you feel stuck right now, you need to renovate, innovate, collaborate from where you are. Your mindset is the GPS to your success. So when you're inside of the mirror, you need to be focusing on perspective. You need to be thinking, okay, how was I thinking before? Let me change my beliefs now. Maybe I need to change my beliefs because the beliefs that I had before got me to where I'm at right now. Let's change up the beliefs in order to get to where I want to be. So you must change your beliefs. You must change your perspective from where you were to where you want to be. So that's the first domino. When you're standing in that mirror, your perspective, what are you thinking about? What avoidance behaviors are you engaged in? And once you start thinking about that, how do you innovate on this? Okay, how do I change the way I operate? So I've been leaving things around. Let me not do that. Let me make sure I have a space for everything. I need a space for everything. So that way I'm not just leaving things out and getting distracted and then starting to go eye blind, right? We don't want to go blind to things. We want to make sure that everything that we have, we're utilizing, and that is necessary, is needed. And then finally, collaboration. Whom, where, what are we collaborating with, right? Who are we collaborating with? Where are we collaborating? What are you collaborating with? The tools, the technology, the people, the places, the things, all of it matters. You have to realize all of it matters. Everyone put in the chat, everything I do matters. So with the RIC method, what you're going to now look at is the areas, the skill sets that you've been lacking in. So when you're inside the mirror doing a clarity challenge and you're thinking about your next level, or you're thinking about what you're doing right now, I want you to take note for all of the things that you've done in this moment, right? So if it's communication, in this moment, you're staring at yourself in the mirror. How have you been communicating? How could you communicate better? What words are you choosing to communicate to yourself that's causing you to implement and integrate and unify mess in your life? Or why is being cluttered? Why am I communicating? What am I communicating to myself? You start to say, oh, I'm going to do it later. So you must change. You must change, innovate on how you communicate now. You must change the belief, renovate the belief. Okay, I used to say, I'm going to do it tomorrow. I need to change that. I need to start doing it today. And the innovations, I'm going to do it right now. As soon as it happened, I get it done. I move it right. As soon as I need to do something, I need to do it right away. Get it done. I need to be effective with it. So you see how you're changing the communication. When you change the communication, you're changing what you integrate into your life, how you integrate it into your life, and then you change what's being implemented. So now you go from a cluttered space to a clear space. And while you're sitting in that space of clarity or that space in the mirror, gaining clarity, think about your imagination. Because your imagination is what's creating the communication and the unification and the implementation. So we need to start there, right? We need to migrate there. Okay, in my imagination, what exactly am I thinking about? What type of life would I like to live? How would I like to live the life that I want? What type of people do I want in my life? What type of things do I want to be associated with? What type of experiences would I like to have? And now you start communicating those feelings and those thoughts to unify it to show up in your life. If you're thinking about creating wealth, there's no room for your house to be messy because a messy room is a messy mind. So now that you know that, you no longer want to be messy. But even if it does happen, because it's going to happen, you're going to be able to renovate, innovate, collaborate, clean that up, and then re-establish yourself with a higher level of imagination for yourself that ultimately you communicate to integrate and implement a clear space. This same principle works in business. If you take the person who created Uber, all right, you take the person who created Uber here. This person created Uber. They used their imagination to communicate an idea, to unify people, to implement an idea. That's the goal. That is the goal. What do you need to communicate? To whom do you need to communicate to? What do you need to use to communicate to make sure you can create the life that you want, that you can unify other people into your life to give you what you want? When you use Amazon, you have an imagination. You say, okay, I need something. You go on the app and you're communicating to yourself, what do I want? You're looking at the reviews. You're looking at the stars. Okay, how many stars does it have? You're looking at the pricing. You're looking at all of what it is, so that way it's communicating to you whether you should buy it or not. And then you press I want it, or you put it to your cart, you press add to cart, and then what happens? You purchase it, but you purchase it using a card. So whoever card you're using, whether it's Bank of America or Chase, you are unifying their idea with your idea, with Amazon's idea, to create something for yourself, to implement something. So you are unifying the card in Amazon. You use the card, you purchase using the card to purchase the product. Whoever, you don't know these people, but whoever the manufacturer is, they created this product and they are now implementing it by shipping it to you. The person who is doing the shipping, they drop it off to you at your house, and now they're giving you this idea. So you see how this, you manifest it easily utilizing this same method. Now you must do it for your finances. How much money would you love to collect? Who do you need to communicate that to? You need to communicate that to yourself first. And then now you need to communicate with other people, places, things that could help you unify it into your life and implement it, so that way you get the amount of money you would like. And then remember, RIC, renovate, innovate, collaborate. Which of these skill sets are you lacking in? Are you lacking in your imagination? Do you need to renovate and innovate and collaborate on to create a new imagination? What about communication, unification, implementation? Those things matter. So with that being said, we are done for today. We are done for today. I want you to think about, if you are the most valuable participant in your life, you need to show up as that character. See, the most valuable participant isn't just the person that carries the most weight. No, it's the person that's showing up and is happy to lead by example. It's the person that's willing to go above and beyond for themselves. So that way, when they do help other people, they are not helping people from an empty cup. They're helping people from overflow. So in order for you to go to another level, you must have clarity in what it is that you want and what it is that you're doing. And most importantly, a clarity in your space so you can think and operate the way that you want to. Change your beliefs. See your perspective as powerful. But don't hold on to a perspective, because the reality of it is what's good could also be bad. Water is good for you, but too much water can drown you. So we have to decipher, and we have to use discernment and know also that there's good and there's bad. So we take all of it, understanding all of it, and then we make the most of what we could do. Make the most of what you can do. Your mindset is your GPS to your success. Make the most of what you can do. So having clarity, standing in that mirror, doing the clarity, but also doing the 491. Those are the things that you want to start to work on this week. Those 3 challenges. Work on those 3 challenges. And next week, I want to do a Q&A and talk to you all about what you have discovered. And if you have any questions or concerns, let's go ahead and get into it. But I realize those 3 challenges are the route to success. Those 3 challenges are the route to success. Now, while you're growing, you're still going to need to grab a branch of information here, branch of information from here, and you need to execute along the way to keep growing. But the foundation is sturdy when you can look yourself in the mirror and connect to yourself. The foundation is sturdy when you can see eye to eye and have the conversation and dialogue with yourself like you do with other people. That makes your word stronger. It makes your bond to yourself stronger. It makes your integrity to yourself stronger. It makes you do what you say you were going to do because you are locked in and looking at yourself and making a bigger connection than otherwise specified. Go out there and be amazing. You are the best of the best, the top of the top, cream of the crop. Once again, my name is Sean Crumay, and I'm here to help you build out the systems for success to help you become more effective in less time so you get paid to be you and step into your most attractive character. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to close. You are the best of the best, top of the top, cream of the crop. Go out there and be amazing, but make sure you have some clarity. Peace, love, beautiful energy. I'm out of here. Let's leave with some music, and let's leave on a high note. Go out there and be amazing, ladies and gentlemen. MVPs.
Hey. Stepping in the left, it's a brainwave shift. Turn pain into game, every loss uplift. City on my back, but my posture rich. Used to dream in the dark, now the switch they lit. Neurons fire when I say my name. Rewire all the wires, I don't play that same. Old code in my head, had to break that chain. Now the pathway paved with the wins I claim. Yeah, power, money, respect, I evolve with it. New pathways in my head, watch me solve with it. Change, transform, I was built to collect. More life, more growth, that's the real asset. Yeah. Power, money, respect, put it all on deck. New pathways when I move, every thought direct. Change, transform, I was born to connect. More life, more growth, that's the real asset. Pocket full of plans, I don't chase loose change. Every dollar just data, I expand my range. Stack base, stack skills, then the paper grows. I invest in the mind, that's how favor flows. Had to silence every doubt, that's a loud old voice. Now I edit my beliefs like a ground up choice. Turn fear into fuel, turn stress into steps. Every setback, sketching out the stairs I rep. Yeah, I pivot when the pad look blocked off. If the road ain't there, then I blast off. From the gutter in my thoughts to a glass loft. Had the bed on my brain, that's a jackpot. Yeah, yeah. Power, money, respect, I evolve with it. New pathways in my head, watch me solve with it. Change, transform, I was built to collect. More life, more growth, that's the real asset, yeah. Power, money, respect, put it all on deck. New pathways when I move, every thought direct. Change, transform, I was born to connect. More life, more growth, that's the real asset.